Good evening. How are you doing tonight? Oh, me? I was just out for a swim. What are you talking about? What do you mean you saw me? I was just going for an evening swim in the river. I'm sorry, what? I had scales. Friend, I'm not sure what you think you saw, but... You think you saw me being a salmon? Well, that's a right trick. I suppose I have the natural ability to just turn in and out of a salmon as much as you please, eh? Next you'll be telling me I can turn into a hawk as well. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just screwing with you a little bit, I'm sorry. Oh, you saw what you saw. Me? The name's Finn. Fintan. Officially speaking, Fintan Magh. Oh, you know, just your average Irishman. Though, if we're being completely fair, I was not Irish. Nah. I moved to Ireland with me wife, Kesser. My beloved Kesser. Fiery woman. Held an entire people together through some of the darkest times we'd ever seen. Oh, you saw me getting out to the river. As a fish. What? Are you telling me you've never met another fishman before? Don't worry, you haven't either now. I'm a man. Who can turn into a fish? I don't see that being exactly a problem. Back in my day, everybody could do stuff like that. Though, in fairness, back in my day, there were a lot more, shall we say, interesting folk about. Kelpies, leprechauns, Doulahan, there were a great many of us. Us, them, whatever you want to call it, the fae folk. And I can turn into a fish, correct? And a hawk, and a bunch of other animals. Though, out of pure survival, never screwed around with snakes. All it took was one jumped up priest to run around kicking us off an island, and I figured real quick, snake is not the way to go. Well, allow me then, as I have, to introduce myself. Fintan Magh. I was born, 8 or so thousand years ago now. Well, as far as I can tell, I'm immortal. Well, like I said, I came with me wife Kesser. Beautiful Kesser. Forgive me. Even after all these years, I can still see her face. Her lovely eyes. She was fiery and passionate and strong and wild. It's why your grandfather hated her. Her grandfather? Noah. Aye, Noah. Yes, that Noah. The one with the giant ass boat. 2 animals of each kind, and all the other shite. Of course, no room for a granddaughter and her people. Couldn't be bothered, he says. Find your own way. So we did. Aye, we did. Our people got their ships together. We set sail. Weeks and months passed at the ocean's mercy. But before long, we found her. The great Erin herself. Ireland. Home. Of course, by that time, a fair few of us hadn't made it. As far as I can remember, it was 79 of us. 80 maybe. Truth be told, there were only 3 men. Yours truly and 2 others. Well, not to tell a lie, but I was a little nervous about, 3 men, 76, 77 women. The numbers there are a little skewed. But Kesser, beloved Kesser, she kept us all together. We lived, we were happy. Made lives and houses and children and all of the other wonderful pieces of life. What happens? Well, you've read the damn stories, ain't you? The big guy gets all pissed off. Floods, thunder, lightning. Noah's proud self up on his boot. And us? We were left. Fighting. Praying. Every other damn thing we could think of. But in the end, the flood was too much. I lost me beloved Kesser then and there. Truth be told, that was the first time I found that I had powers. The water raged up against me and I tried so hard to swim. But eventually I went under. That's when it happened. Started with a pain in my neck. Like fire and steel together. I reached my hands up, but I couldn't get there, and then I looked and found I didn't have hands anymore. I had fins. Scales. I realised that the pain was gills forming. I'd become a salmon. Can you believe that? The shock of it all. A man becoming a salmon. You'd never have thought. But there I am, swimming in the ocean. Just as you please, being a salmon. It was wild. Well, it took a while for me to get right about everything. But the flood lasted for quite a while, so I had a lot of time to swim. I found that bastard Noah. I figured out real quick how to change myself from being a salmon to being back to a man and all that. The other animals came later, but I would occasionally swim up to the boat, transform back into a man, tread water for a while, flip him a howdy-a-do, transform back, swim away, screwed with his head something fierce. That's what he gets for fucking with us. Abandoning us. His own granddaughter. It's despicable if you ask me. I've been alive for thousands of years. Before long, the floods receded and I went home. Back to Ireland. By the time I got there, though, there were already people there. The fair bulg. The men of the bags. The children and Nomad they were. They decided to leave Ireland and try to form a new life. Went down to what you would now call Greece. Didn't quite go so well. So, They decided to come back. When they did, though, someone had the bright idea to grab some of the soil, which was wonderfully fertile, put it in bags, bring it back, plant it in Ireland. Aye, 'twas great. Before long, things were growing beautifully. Aye, that's where I come back in. See, they were quite confused when I swam up and became a man, as you were, which is a fair thing to be. Well, to be fair, when was the last time you watched a guy climb out of a river as a salmon? Exactly. You can't remember, can you? It's all right. I won't hold that against you. So where was I? Ah, yes, the fair bulk. So, there I am, climbing out of the river. And one of theirs sees me, and of course all the great ruckus starts. He's a devil, he's a Fomorian, maybe he's a twa. Every damn thing. Quickly, I'm brought in front of the king. Eochaid Magh. Great brute of a man, but a good king. Aye, he was. Married himself a goddess, far as I can remember. You'd think that a man who claims to be the memory of Ireland itself would have a better memory for these things. That's the truth, ain't it? After as many years as I've been alive, it's kind of hard to keep certain things straight. Who married who cheated on who with who stole from who. There's a lot of it to just try to, wrap your head around. But, be that as it may, he was wise. Eochaid was. He realised quickly that I could be a valuable asset to him. How so? I'm a fishman. I could turn into a fish, or a hawk, or a horse, or any other named creature. He wanted that. He wanted me to be able to help him rule and keep an eye on his lands. I was perfectly happy to be, kept in comfort. Gave me a house, food, clothes, everything I could need, and I advised him. Aye, 'twas a great arrangement. He was a good man. They were good people. What happened? Same shite that always seems to happen in Ireland. Someone came and stuck their nose in where it didn't belong. Bastard King Nuada. He came with his twa-headed Dunnan brethren. They decided we should have the island because we say so. You can imagine, the king was not having much of that. Exactly. You don't just come into a people's home and kick in the door, say, I live here now, do you? No. But that's what Nomad did. Why did he say he was there? Claimed he was running from the Fomorians. Though, I don't know if I believe that story, do you? I don't know. Never trusted the man. Well, on the plus side, he wasn't the king for long. The Battle of Magh. Aye, 'twas the battle between the Fir Bolg and the Tuatha de Donnan. You see, it was there that me old friend, King Eochaid, he fell. But his right-hand man, Sreng, stood tall and proud, lopped off Nuada's arm. 'Twas a sight to see, if you'll believe it. Oh, you know it was. Arm twisting off into the wind. Couldn't find the damn thing after the battle, he couldn't. Well, I might have had something to do with it. Maybe I hid it in a pig waller nearby. Served him right, the bastard. So anyway, Nuada can't be king anymore, even with his new bright silver arm. But that sort of thing brings an end to the battle real quick. So, Nuada makes a deal to the Firbolg. Give us half the island, you take the other half, or we live in peace together. But the Firbolg aren't having it. Well, would you? They were the invaders. The Firbolg had made a home for themselves, and now they were being told to leave. No, thank you very much. So, the only logical thing to do, they kept fighting. And they lost. I wish I could say it was otherwise, but they lost. The Tuatha de Danann took the entire island. The Firbolg eventually petered away, left, died. Good folk. But it's alright. Well, as it turned out, the Fomorians really were behind him. That great beast Balor. Ugh. He was a fucking character. But his grandson put his eye out. I could tell you stories for days and days. I'm the memory of Ireland. Fintan the fish. Though, I'll have you know, everyone keeps mistaking me for the salmon of knowledge. I'm not the salmon of knowledge. I'm a different salmon. That is just rude, mixing up salmon like that. Oh, it is. That would be like going to somebody's house, looking at their dog and going, oh, I think that's my dog, and trying to take it. Oh, it is. I'd like to think I cut a pretty dashing figure as a salmon. I've got lovely scales, a great tail, good eyes. I don't know quite the defining features of good fish, but I'd like to think I have them. But what about you? Tell me, who are you? Tell me about yourself. Come now. I so rarely meet mortals anymore. Tell me a story. Like I said, I am the memory of Ireland. Through me, the stories are remembered, and I have so many stories to tell. We could sit for a while if you like. Tell me about yourself, and I'll tell you about the great God King Lir. Beautiful beast that he was. Great with a spear. I could tell you about Cuchulainn, the Irish juggernaut. When the man would enter battle, his skin would shift and he would crack and he would rage. Sad, tragic tale that he was, but quite the tale to be sure. What do you say? Shall we sit? I'd love to tell you more. And I'd love to hear your stories too. If you'd rather, we could just go back for a swim. I might be a little bit faster than you. What do you say?